Hello everyone, welcome to Thomann's Guitars and Basses. My name is Kris, and this is a live stream, believe it or not. Thanks for joining in, and it's nice to see that there are already quite a few people around. I see Todd, I see Chicken Lickin', Eric, Pooh's around. So cool, so nice to see you guys. This is gonna be a pretty cool, well, at least I'm talking for myself. This is gonna be a really enjoyable live stream because we are gonna be together shooting out 8 vibe pedals, Univibe style pedals, all different kind of brands and price points and models. Some of these pedals are pretty old, some are brand new, like very new. This, the J.Rockett Uni-Verb, just came out right now. And yeah, there are all kinds of takes on the same kind of effect, which is a really unique effect type. It's a modulation effect, in case you're not familiar with what that term is, what Univibe is. I think the original Univibe, which was a Japanese pedal, a huge pedal plus an expression pedal, came out, I think, in '68. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Let me check. No one corrected yet, so it might actually be correct. I think it is. 1968, and it got really, really successful after Jimi Hendrix played the Univibe. Obviously, I think 2 years later, I'm not sure, I think it was in 70. And it has become this absolutely, like, it's like a milestone in modulation effects. And it's so unique. I talk about how a Univibe tone is made. I'm not a technician, so don't expect like actual circuit boards and stuff, but I know the main idea, what is essential in the circuit to make it sound right, to make it sound familiar to the original, or similar to the original Univibe pedal or effect. So let me take a look at the chat. Nice. It's hot, damn hot, 35 degrees Celsius in the UK. Yeah, is it that hot here, Lucas? I don't think it's that hot, but it's we're closer to 35 than to 30 for sure, and it's gonna be around 40 degrees tomorrow here in Germany. So in Fahrenheit, that's a million. I do not know, but it's way above comfort zone. It's the kind of temperature where you just wanna, I don't know, swim, like being covered with water until your nose, preferably just under the nose, you know, breathing and stuff. Hey Kris, chicken licking. Danny Kaltoy, yeah. Hey, Roland, my Logify, other nicknames were funny, lol. I'm not sure what we were talking about. I think I missed something here. Oh yeah, Todd Roy has a very good question. Hey Todd, nice to see you here. A question I have is, where would you put the vibe pedal in your chain, in a signal chain? Traditionally talking, if we go back, way back to Hendrix, what would be the situation for him? He would have his Marshall gunned, mostly, which means that the amp is already distorting, and then then he would put the pedal in front of that Marshall, which means that the vibe goes in front of any kind of overdrive or distortion. It's not a rule, like you must do that kind of rule, but it's the kind of chewy, gainy kind of tone that most of us prefer. Let's put it this way. I kind of like a vibe in front of drives as well. That being said, I tried both with the Univibe right here on the table. I had the drive in front of it. I liked the tone a lot. The modulation effect is way more obvious that way, obviously, because the drive doesn't even out those chewy, wobbly, phasey kind of things from the pedal, because the pedal is right after it. Let me give you a few examples just in a sec after I took another look at the live chat. I want to show you at least these three pedals I have on the board right now with a clean tone of the D20, the Rev D20, which is a very neutral and balanced sounding, nice, clean amp. I have it set up in a way that it's pretty, like the headroom is really cool. It doesn't break up with the singing coils. So that's going to be cool. And then I'll just turn on the Univibes here, or the Vibe type pedals. I'm not sure what is allowed to say and what not. MXR clearly owns the official name, Univibe. Their pedal is called the Univibe as well. The others just use one of those words, uni or vibe, but not both. Clearly that's not allowed. So yeah, that's gonna happen in a sec. Let me just take a look at the live chat. Amanda's here, Amanda Coombs. Hey Kris, hey Robert Ranford, Riley, nice. Pooh's back. Doug is here from the UK, nice. So cool. All right, how hot is it wherever you are on this planet? I mean, UK is pretty damn hot. I've read that before. Here in Europe, it's crazy as well. So I'm really thankful for having a bit of a climate here, and AC here in the studio. Nice. Green Rumor from Seattle. Wie geht's, Kris? Wie geht's gut? Thanks, man. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. Thanks for answering, Todd writes. You are welcome. So cool. I've been looking for a Univibe, says Riley. Well, funny that you say. We have a couple of here on the table. So let me show you these three pedals first with the clean amp. All right, so I have the castellated Toxic Twins turned off, which is something I had on in the intro jam for just a slight, chewy kind of low gain crunch, which is a very neutral sounding pedal, but still, let's stick to clean for now. I'll start with the MXR Uni-Vibe because it's, I think, the oldest pedal here, maybe not. I think the Fulltone was out on the market earlier, but I mean, it's a, you know, it's a Uni-Vibe from MXR, so why wouldn't you? Clean sound first, bypass. Here's my bypass signal. Who was this? I think it was Andy back in the days. YouTube Andy, Pro Guitar Shop Andy, I think, if I'm not mistaken. 38 degrees in the UK, says Doug. Seriously? 7 in Seattle. Okay, well, I think that's the comfy zone, right? That's not too warm at all, I think. It's a nice t-shirt kind of weather. Lucky you. Alrighty, so here's the clean sound of the Silver Sky going into the rev with a bit of reverb coming from the golden. And then I'll turn on the MXR Uni-Vibe. Okay, that's really cool. It really sounds warm. That's the first word that comes to my mind when I listen to this pedal. I had to adjust the level. It was a little too quiet compared to the signal strength when it's bypassed. But right here, just above 12 o'clock, I felt like it's now at unity, so it's in balance. It does sound very warm, which is beautiful. I'm not sure how practical that is in a rock band kind of situation, like with a Hammond and another guitar player and a singer shouting, screaming. Could be that you have to increase the level even more just because it kind of puts a slight blanket on your tone, which is, as told, a really pretty sound. So like if you're recording, that's not an issue because you can definitely find its place in the mix. Beautiful sound. All right, let's check out the new boy, the Uni-Verb, because it's right next to it. I think I have a similar setting here. Do the same thing, clean amp first, and then I'll turn it on. That's the J.Rockett Uni-Verb, which just got released right now, like literally right now. Okay, cool. Okay. If I say that it sounds woodier, will someone kill me? It's the weirdest word to say, but that's the first thing that came in my mind. It sounds chewier and woodier. Good job, Kris. Good job. That's not gonna help, I think, anyone. Yeah, it does sound more open, which is probably helpful, as told, in live environments. And it sounds more subtle, which is something that I know that J.Rockett was aiming for. They didn't want to go for a more modern, like super, well, not aggressive, but like really obvious, over-the-top kind of Univibe sound. They wanted to nail like the details of the original, usable, more subtle sounds. It sounds absolutely killer. So yeah, sounds most balanced until now. Let's check out the Deja-Vibe, which is a full-tone pedal, and it's a legendary pedal. Like, this is, I think, the Univibe type pedal that you'll see on most like professional pedal boards. If someone has to go for a good sounding, really nice sounding Univibe type pedal, this is probably the pedal, or one of those few pedals that will end up on boards. So again, bypass and then the Deja-Vibe. The most open sounding pedal until now. I kind of feel like this has the least amount of warmth compared to the other two. I'll do a direct comparison right now, just first impressions, you know. Absolutely lovely sound though. And if I take a look at the speed knob, it's around, what is that, 9 o'clock? And this is already like medium fast, so I can imagine this being ridiculously fast at its maximum setup. I'll just do that for a second, then compare all three. But before I do that, let me take a look at the in the live chat, what you guys are saying. Riley says, such beautiful tones, Kris, you make them sound lovely. Thank you so much, man. It's weird that I cannot talk and read at the same time. Is that an issue? My oldest pedal is my 76 Maestro Fuzz phaser. Oh, green rumor. Good on you, man. That's, wow. That's probably a really cool pedal. Mike says, the way that Zuma hangs under the board is triggering my OCD. That one's for you, man. Yeah, I mean, it's stable. It's, you know, it holds up real well, or does it? Oh, kind of, not that well, but it's on the table, so we're safe. We're in the green zone. Yeah. What's the Univerb? It looks cool. Chicken licking. I've mentioned that already. That's this brand new pedal by J.Rockett. And it's not only a Univibe, it's reverb too. I'll show it in a sec. We're not really talking about that in this live stream, but it does have a ridiculous spring reverb emulation on the one side, on the left side of it. Yeah, 70 Fahrenheit is 21 Celsius. Well, that's like ideal. That's comfy. I'd love something like that right now. I've seen Music Therapy Laz. Oh, nice to see you here, man. Wow, that's so cool. Let me see if there are any, a lot of people saying hi and hey. And forgot to say hi from Australia. Wow, Stephen, that's awesome. So cool. Eric says, bro, you sound fantastic. Thanks so much, man. Yeah, I cannot see any burning questions until now, which is cool. So I just keep on blabbering and playing. Yeah. Is that Vox Wah sitting there? That's Steven. Nope, that's not a Vox Wah. That's a Dunlop Rotovibe. Because, I mean, right? That's the Rotovibe, and it's a different take on a very similar story, same type of pedal. You still have the two voicings, the chorus and the vibrato mode. You still have the speed, no, the intensity. Yeah, that's the intensity on the side. And this is for the speed of that wobble, which is really cool because you can adjust it. I've seen, who was it? Black Label Society, come on. How can I have such a blackout? Help me out with the name. Zach Wild. Thank you, Kris. Zach Wild was or is still playing this thing, and it sounds ridiculous with his massive high gain Les Paul tones or double humbucker single cut tones. I guess it's safer to say now. Yeah, cool. So let's, someone says enjoy. I'm enjoying the blabbering and playing, to be honest. Thanks, Amanda. Cool. All right, let's check out the Deja-Vibe's speed, because as told, I have to hear how fast it goes. And then I go back to normal and compare these three, the Univerb, the MXR Uni-Vibe, and the Deja-Vibe by Fulltone. So. Okay. Before I say anything, let me know what came through, what you guys heard. I'm looking forward to seeing if any of these subtle details come through YouTube, because I'm confident about this shootout because our audio in our live streams have been so consistently awesome. Like the guitar tones, I was so happy with what our audio guys did. I was like, okay, we can actually try to shoot out stuff. And now we have this ridiculous Neumann microphone in front of the cab. So on our side, all details should go in the box. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes through YouTube, you know, all the rendering and compression and everything. Todd says the MXR sounds good. Yeah, absolutely. Does any vibe pedal has some kind of blend knob? Explore guitar. Yeah, well, they kind of do. It's not like a traditional like mix or blend knob, but it kind of is, because they have the intensity. And with the intensity, you decide how much of the modulated signal gets kind of mixed into the original signal. If you go for the vibrato mode of these pedals, which they all do that, I'll show it in a second. That's the less typical Univibe sound. It really sounds more like a vibrato, well, hence the name. And there, I think you only get the modulated tone, I think. Not sure about the actual percentage there, but with the chorus mode, you definitely, which is the typical Univibe tone Henrix would use, you get the impression of, like with the intensity knob, or on the Univibe, the depth knob, you can make it really subtle, and that actually works in my book like a blend knob would. There are some great effects happening there, says Steven. Yeah, oh yeah. Univerb was looking great. Biohazard sounding, he meant. Yeah, yeah. Cool. Russell says, hi from Italy, from your best client. Well, nice to finally meet you, best client. Hope you're doing great, man. Hello from Morocco, Noordin. Okay, Michael P is here. Howdy, Kris. Where's Bill? Bill's on vacation, you know? He's in, I don't know, I think in Denmark. I'm pretty sure he's in Denmark, and he's enjoying good beer. And I think he's on well, not hitchhiking, they have their own cars, but they're like, you know, camping and stuff, you know, finding sweet spots and reading books and having good talks, eating and drinking good stuff. That kind of vacation. Sounds good. Hope you're having fun, Guillaume. Just kidding. Yeah. I believe the sound would be great on that Les Paul laying there on the sofa, says Biohazard. Well, why not plug it in, honestly? Valentin says, hi Kris, I would like to hear the maximum depth setting for all the pedals and the interaction between these pedals and the germanium fuzz pedal, if it's possible. Well, we do have a fuzz pedal, and we can increase the intensity, definitely. Let me just unplug the tuner, I guess, and put this fuzz pedal at the beginning, because I don't know, where would you put a fuzz? In front of the vibe or after the vibe? Because I would use the drive behind the vibe for sure. Fuzz, kind of depends. Does anyone know by heart how Henrix used it? Because that could be a good starting point, I guess. Right, let's see what we're having here. I just try to dial in a nice fuzz tone, and then play around with the pedals. I guess that makes sense. Todd says, no hard feelings, I see, lol. Yeah, well, you know, it's my buddy. I love him. I hope he's enjoying himself. Before the vibe sounds more correct, says Biohazard. Yeah, that's what I would go for anyhow, but you know, there are no real rules here. Okay, I try to dial in fuzz tone. I'll keep the Toxic Twins on behind the fuzz, because that is simulating my cranked Marshall, or a cranked you know, amp tone. It's really low gain, so don't think it's on some sort of a rock high gain setting right now. Okay. I've heard that if you plug in a cable, that kind of works better. I've just heard my good buddy and colleague, and are you in charge of video or audio today, Phil? Phil is in the house. Right, Phil? I think I got them by surprise. Ah, there you are.
I'm doing video right now.
Video,
just
nice.
Figuring out roles here.
Okay.
Control room.
I think I was a little too early with asking you straightforward questions. Yeah, so Phil is going to be here in case I feel too alone. I mean, how could I possibly feel alone? So many of you guys are so active in the chat, which is killer. Yeah, I could maybe imagine you pointing out some cool questions, Phil, in case you see something that I oversee, which is most probably the case. That would be really helpful. And otherwise, I will do finally what I explained 3 times already. So first fuzz, and then I'll just fiddle around with these 3 vibes. And then I want to swap them. I want to hear the other ones. There are some really affordable ones. This is the Soul Shiver by Mooer. And we have the Vicious Vibe here. We have the Good Vibes, electro-harmonix, and you know, the JHS, which is also really cool. So let's go. I hope this sounds as good for you as it sounds for me. Okay, let me calm down for a sec. That is ridiculous. like all three. Again, the same thing with having a fuzz, then a vibe pedal, and then a mild drive after it. I kind of feel like the more open sounding ones just cut through better. Like I have more articulation, and I don't want to only be on the bridge pickup position, which would definitely cut through anyhow. But even with the fuzz on in the neck pickup position, I felt that I have a bit more articulation with a bit more, well, openness. It's not really just presence, it's just the vast majority of time spent on not too woolly modulation peaks. Can you follow me? Don't ask me to explain stuff. I tend to have a weird way of describing things. For that, I felt like the Deja-Vibe and the Uni-Verb had that certain attack that just felt more comfy on the neck pickup position. On the bridge, though, the Univibe, the MXR, had that warmth that just made it like rock, like so cool. So yeah, it's a matter of taste, clearly. So I don't want to, you know, put like first place, second place, or any sort of a thing like that. It's just, yeah. It's just tastes. Biohazard says, Pandora sounds so good. Man, yeah, so good as well. Cool, let me take a look at some other comments. You guys seem to dig it. I mean, what's not to like about these sounds? I could literally just sit here and play, but, you know, that would only entertain one person, and he's in the room right now. Fuzz Life, Riley, totally. MXR and Uni-Verb were wild. Yeah, like total opposites of each other. And I dig both for different things. I think the Uni-Verb has more of that, like I immediately imagine Jimmy rocking, you know, 140 dBs when I hear the Uni-Verb's kind of modulation. That being said, the MXR just sounds so good as well, so, you know.
Someone asked, have you ever been Kris-perienced in the chat also?
What? Seriously? Ever been Kris-perienced? That's
Deja Voodoo.
Deja Voodoo, you're the man. Crazy. Yeah, can we make a t-shirt like that? I definitely dig it. Univibe is superb. Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. Enough blabber. Let's plug in 3 other pedals. No. I was lying. I wanted to show the reverb side of the Uni-Verb because, yeah, let me just show you why instead of explaining why.
To call Guillaume?
I'm not sure if you guys heard that. Phil just asked me if we should call Guillaume. I don't know how that song goes. How could I forget? And normally, no, not today. This is not the day. Yeah, whatever. You've heard that song enough on this channel anyhow. So let's just ignore it. Whole verb. Yeah, it does sound as like the decay is as long as like a whole reverb, but it's actually, it does have spring reverb qualities to it. It's just so you know, that kind of verb which you don't want to turn off. Cool. Let's go for the most budgety ones. Okay. Let's keep. Do we want to keep a more expensive pedal here on the board and to budget ones to pair it with? Do we want to compare here things, or we just want to go through all the pedals? That's very, very smooth. Definitely poo, totally. Yeah, I am waiting for a couple of opinions. If we should keep any of these three pedals, like the Univerb, the Univibe, the MXR, or the Deja-Vibe, on the board, and just put two of the, like, let's say, most affordable ones, or whichever you guys wish to hear on the board. That would be a good option to compare stuff. Keep the cheap. Which is cheap? None of these is cheap. I mean, the MXR is the most affordable out of these, but it's still, I think, 160-ish euros, that is, and it depends on the country you're in, so yeah. Whenever I say any kind of price points, don't believe me, just look it up, because we have a link, by the way, to all the Univibe pedals in the Thomann store. So if you open up the description box under this video, you can check them out for yourself. I'm not sure if the Univerb, the J.Rockett, is in there already, because it literally just got released at 4 p.m., like European time, like Central European time, 4 p.m. So it might still not be in the shop, but it will be in, I guess, a few hours, in case that's not the case. By the way, what is the most expensive? Funny you ask. Biohazard. The Univerb, the brand new J.Rockett Uni-Verb. It's the kind of pedal you would definitely call expensive. I mean, it's two pedals. So if you go for a really nice Univibe and a really nice reverb, and you add those two prices together, you have the price of this pedal. So that's how expensive it is. It's above 500. Ouch. I get it why though, and yeah, whatever. It's so hard to talk about prices because it's so subjective and relative and depends on the perspective and all that. If you want a good vibe tone, you probably don't have to pay that much. If you want that vibe tone, well, that's the price. You know, that's, I think J.Rockett rocks for sure, but it's, yeah. So why not keeping that one on the board and put the two, I don't know, the good vibes, the electro-harmonix, and the Mooer on the board, and see how they sound in comparison.
You do this, I can make some service announcements.
Please do that.
Because there was a question if we could run the room mic for the playing bits, and my answer to that is, who was it? Valentin.
Hey, Valentin.
We have U67 in front of the cab a bit further away, so it's not super close miking, and I can guarantee you that is the closest you'll get to the room sound that we can do here. And we don't have a room mic active because it would be super reverby. The other mic you hear when Kris is talking is just his lav mic. That's the only thing we mute during the playing bits. So I hope that clears that up for you.
I'm doing the presentation for you, Phil.
Yeah, I see it. Thanks.
Anytime.
And
okay.
There was another question. Oh yeah, the Deja-Vibe. Chicken licking. Yes, we are running the Deja-Vibe on 18 volts for higher headroom, of course.
And also, it says use only 18 volts. So I don't recommend using any other kind of volt than the 18 type of volts. Yeah, it might work with 9, but if it says use only, please do so. I didn't want to test anything else, you know, because it's not my pedal. And if it was my pedal, I would also do the same thing. I would not experiment with it because it's not a cheap pedal. There's one thing, I'm not sure about most of these. The Deja-Vibe clearly then runs on 18 volts. No question about it, because you also have to feed it 18 volts. I'm pretty sure all of the other ones are 9 volts. Yes, Yes, but for example, the Univibe does run on 24 volts internally. So you feed it 9, but it has like a converter built in, because the original Univibe had like needed 24 volts, and this one runs on 24 volts as well, but it's like an internal thing. Like you just feed it 9 volts and don't worry about it. Cool. I have the electro-harmonix Good Vibes here on the board now, and the Soul Shiver by Mooer. And the Univibe is still here just to have like something from the original pedal board, to have like some sort of a comparison in case you guys are interested. I just play the Good Vibes first and then the Mooer. Try to fiddle with the knobs and try to set up a kind of a familiar vibe tone. Anything else in the chat? It kind of feels weird sitting here alone. I'm so glad Phil's back and can join me and talk to me. I'd love to hear you guys, to be honest. Not only read the comments. Let me just check. Okay, Corbin says Henrik's put his vibe after his fuzz phase and Octavia. Yeah, that's still the question of like how, like which order would make most sense. Drive after vibe is for me like that's the original tone, but with the fuzz, you could probably experiment with both. I kind of prefer the fuzz first, because some fuzzes, especially vintage type fuzzes, will go nuts if they don't see the guitar. Like if the cable that goes into the fuzz's input is not coming from directly the guitar. That has to do with impedance and with all kinds of stuff, because it kind of reacts to your guitar. They're really sensitive, so that's why I kind of like to stick to fuzz first, whatever. Like even my tuner is behind my fuzz, even though it's a true bypass tuner. Yeah, it just keeps it simple and makes sure that you don't mess with your fuzz's tone. Even though, for example, the Pandora, as far as I know, and a lot of more modern fuzzes will give you maybe a traditional tone or maybe a more modern tone, but they have a built-in fake pickup simulator, like something that fakes having the guitar in front of it. So you can put that fuzz wherever you want in signal chain, but I don't know all of these infos on all the pedals by heart, so I just, stick to the safest way of plugging it in. Enough blabber. Electro-harmonix, Good Vibes, and then more Soul Shiver. And first the cable. Center negative, center negative. It's a little bit quiet. I kind of like the harmonics, but it lacks the bottom end, I guess. In other words, there's no sound coming out of it, but it blinks, which looks good. It might be the user. Let's check out the Mooer first. Maybe Phil, you can check out if there's any interesting stuff about the Good Vibes I'm totally ignoring, and maybe we can fix that. One thing is probably a thing that this 9.6 volts that you have on some electro-harmonix pedals might be the thing, because now it's feeded with 9 volts, like 9.0. Might be the thing, but it lights up, so that's interesting. Let's check out that more. my first thought was like, okay, that does not sound like a Univibe at all. And I think I know why. I'm pretty sure that the Soul Shiver does not have that one crucial component that a Univibe needs in order to sound as original as a Univibe or Vibe style pedal can get. And that is a light bulb. That is literally the thing. If, in case you're hearing plastic bags and stuff, that's Phil, and he's unpacking the original power supply for the Good Vibes, because I'm keen on hearing the thing. It needs...
It makes a difference, I don't know.
Yeah, I've read stuff like it should need 18 volts, but it says 9 volts, and I'm pretty sure there, you know, it might run on 18 too.
The manual says don't exceed 10. So.
Yeah, and the manual says don't exceed 10 volts. So it might work on 18, I'm not sure. I don't own one, but I will not try it on this one because again, it's not mine. But there's an original power supply, so we'll try to, wait.
Are you good? Cheers.
Yep. We'll try to power it up with that, which is probably 9.6, I guess, right? Because that's a thing they do.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so back to the explanation why the Soul Shiver does not sound like the other pedals at all. It sounds really nice, but it sounds more like an actual chorus or an actual like vibrato or rotary simulation, which are the three options that you can toggle between with the little mini toggle switch. You need a light bulb in a Vibe pedal, like an actual little light bulb, might be an LED, I'm not sure, but it needs to well, turn on and off and sort of pulse in a way. And you need little sensors around it that will, well, measure the amount of light happening. And this is what gives it this weird, phasey, unique tone. If you don't have a light bulb in the pedal, it's not going to sound like Univibe. It's, well, maybe it's a digital recreation and then it might. It's like a really good emulation or something in a multi-effect. But if you want that real reaction and tone and chewiness and all of that that makes the Univibe so cool, then you need that light bulb. And I think the Good Vibes, the electro-harmonix, should have it. The Mooer, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Corbin says 12 volts, sorry, Vicky. Yeah, wrong power is my guess. Let's see if we have a signal coming out from the Good Vibes. This is the vibrato setting. I switched over from the traditional chorus. It's called chorus, but it's not really chorus, but yeah, from the traditional Univibe sound to the vibrato setting, which all these pedals have, which is clearly, it's like a very noticeable sort of wobbly, stumbly kind of pitch modulation. That's what it is. And it's really cool for certain effects, but it's not as, unless it's set up for a very subtle effect, it's not as usable or not as well, traditional as the chorus setting, which is weird that it's called a chorus setting because it's not really a chorus. To me, it sounds more like a phaser, and there are phaser pedals that will get pretty close to a Univibe kind of tone, but because they don't have this light bulb, they still don't sound as chewy. Like the electro-harmonix small stone is a phaser that, wow, like that is as cool as the Phase 90, obviously. And those phasers will get close, but it's still pretty far from a real Univibe. So these are the two settings, the chorus setting, which sounds more phasey, and the vibrato setting, which sounds very much like a vibrato. Let me go back to the chorus setting and try to set these up, these three pedals, the Good Vibes, electro-harmonix, the Soul Shiver, Mooer, even though that's not really a Univibe. It just sounds nice, like a nice phaser chorus. And the Univerb. I set them up to a similar setting and just toggle through, see where they sit. Okay, that's cool. The Soul Shiver is disqualified. It sounds really cool, definitely, especially for like the price, whatever, it's around 60, 70 euros max, I guess. Like all Mooer pedals sounds amazing, but it doesn't sound like Univibe. So no point in trying to compare that to the others. We have some really cool other pedals here, and I definitely want to hear the JHS first. And also the Rotovibe here, the huge wah-like object. I tried, well, I think this will work. Disconnect the fuzz. How can one do such thing? I still cannot understand. It's a crime, I've heard. But look at me. Phil, do we have any questions or any interesting comments while I'm patching stuff up here?
I'll check the stream while you... I was just busy switching, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I was busy working, I know.
We have some comments that the unicorn is amazing, which I have to agree with. It's been a while since I heard it the last time, but I remember when it came out, we did a video on it, I think. Or at least we had it in the studio. It was the way back old studio in the office room.
Was it not Guillaume though? Because I cannot remember playing this one.
Could be.
Could be, yeah.
There was the unicorn and there was, I think, the cub, the delay pedal from JHS. All of those two buttons on a very short footprint, a very small footprint came out.
Yeah.
That time.
I mean, come on, JHS, right? Josh knows what he's doing. Unicorn is amazing. Yeah, listen to it on Josh videos tons of times. Sounds more modern. I am expecting the unicorn to sound more modern, but I'm not sure what modern means when we're talking about the Univibe. Could be more open sounding, like more like, you know, trebly. Could be more scooped sounding or more mid-range. I don't know. Looking forward to seeing it, to hearing it. I'm just not sure how the Rotovibe, which is big, how is that off? It might probably have to... Yeah, it's off now. Cool. I will start with the JHS because we talked about it. Try to get some sounds and see what's up. I see a dry and wet toggle here. I'm guessing that's gonna be the chorus and vibrato type thing. I know that Josh says a lot that chorus is not really a chorus and that vibrato is, well, it is more a vibrato, but it's because you only hear the wet sound of the effect, like the modulated sound of the effect. That might, yeah, sort of explain why it says dry and wet on this little mini toggle. Let's turn it on. Okay, so in case you were wondering what happened, why it doesn't sound the same again or anymore, I went for the vibrato setting on all three of these pedals, the Rotovibe, the Unicorn, and the Univibe. Interesting. On the chorus setting, which is the more traditional Univibe sound, there are huge differences. Like the Rotovibe sounds pretty much balanced. I really, really like it. The Unicorn does sound way well, almost thinner, which is very usable as told if you're in a loud environment. Really cool sound, a little drier and more articulation, but less low and less warmth. And the Univibe sounds the most vintage, which makes sense because they say this is the original unit, basically, like all the original parts and 24 volts, etc. Sounds very rich and warm and vintagey. On the vibrato setting though, there's not a huge difference. I mean, I didn't hear a huge difference between these three, which is interesting because it makes me believe that the way the dry sound and the wet sound in the chorus setting gets mixed together, that will give you the tone, like a major part of the tone of the pedal, of that modulation that you hear, how warm it sounds, how clear it sounds, that kind of phase relation maybe, or I don't know how it like actually works, but that's the impression I have for sure, that if in the vibrato mode these are way closer to each other than in the chorus mode where the dry signal and the wet signal gets mixed together, I guess that has to make some kind of sense. I'm looking forward to seeing your impressions. Have you ever used the proper old Leslie speaker, Deja-Voodoo? Nope. I have seen one in the studio department at Thomann, but haven't ever plugged into one. I have it on my bucket list for sure. That's a good point actually. The Harmonious Monk, our good friends at that pedal show, Dan and Mick, have this pedal with jam pedals, and that is a harmonic tremolo or vibrato. I think you should say harmonic vibrato. Not sure. I am always confused about this because Fender calls their thing on their amps vibrato, even though it's a tremolo. Yeah, the harmonic trem is a similar thing to Univibe. It's just a bit more subtle, or well, it's easier to make it sound more subtle and less chewy, but it comes really close, and that's again this kind of phasey thing that's happening. It's just a different tone because again, a harmonic trem will, I think, not have a light bulb built in because that's a different thing. There you have your signal, and I think the one side of the wave and the other side of the wave gets tremolized. Like independently, or like, you know, one after another, and that kind of makes this phasey sound. So that's a similar sound but a very different experience to play it. Actually, that's, I think for the player it's the most obvious, the difference between a harmonic trem and a Univibe. I'm digging the tones. Did we plug in all of them? Yes, we did. That's pretty cool. Wow. Okay. And it's sort of impressions. It's really hard to say anything about these. Oh, wow, whoa, wait a second. This is gonna be the pedal of goodbyes. This is gonna be my pedal I'll be using for the outro jam, which is gonna be over the same backing track as the intro jam, because that's the only backing track I have prepared. And that is, by the way, made by a good friend and fellow YouTube and Instagram person, Sasha Ivantic, or Ivantic. Really funny dude and a ridiculous guitar player. So go show him some love and check his channel out and his backing tracks. Really cool. It's Sasha, not German, so not SCH, it's just SH, Sasha Ivantic, and he is an amazing blues player as well. All right, mono. That is the TC Electronic Viscous Vibe, and instead of saying which one I preferred most out of these, which would be impossible to say, honestly, I liked quite a lot of these actually. I think I would use them for different bands, different songs, I guess, which would be an absolute luxury because, you know, having multiple Univibes is not something many of us have. But the Univerb is definitely like right in the middle, like not too thin sounding, not too warm sounding, really nice verb as well. And it's also the most expensive, so it should also be really impressive. So, you know, that kind of sits in a safe place. The Rotovibe impressed me a lot. I love this a lot. And I think maybe for more modern stuff with more gain and maybe more fuzz and everything, I would probably end up using the Univibe a lot, because the Unicorn a lot, because it just keeps the articulation, even though it takes away some low end, or at least that's how it sounds like or feels like. I think this is a very practical pedal in a live situation. So all of these will have their places, obviously. Yeah, exactly. I guess like a fuzz, every vibe fits to different songs. That's Biohazard, and you're absolutely right. Of course, as told, you really have to love this type of effect if you want to have like 4 or 5 of them. But it would make sense if you actually use that effect a lot, because depending on the style, the band, you know, you would end up using different univibes. Thomann is under construction now. Hopefully not. The website. It might be just a temporary thing. If you push refresh, it might work again. All right, let's tweak this vicious vibe, and then I'll give you a cue, Phil. Can you see me? And then you guys could maybe start playing that outro backing track. Are we cool? No answer. No answer. Still no answer. I might be the last person on this planet. Everyone's
You're the last
gone.
person in the studio.
I'm the last person in the studio. Everyone went home.
We heard you all right.
Okay, they heard.
Give us a nod or something and
Yeah.
cue you in.
I'll do, I don't know, an Angus Young thing.
An Angus Young thing.
My knee. No, I shouldn't. All right.
Wrong guitar, I'd say.
Yeah, wrong guitar. I should not say. You know what? I'll tweak this with this guitar and then plug that in to give you some humbucker sounds as well for the actual outro. That's gonna be a cue, Phil, right? I'll give you a gold top. Okay. That's hard not to see. Okay, cool. You guys are absolutely amazing. I've missed a couple of your comments, I'm pretty sure, but I'll come back to it. I'll rewatch only for the top chat, for the live chat. And I am absolutely stoked to see all you guys here. Finally it's over, or finally I'm playing the Vicious Vibe, or finally it's humbucker time.
Yeah. He was waiting for the TC one, so.
Okay, cool. Well then, both. Let's start with the singles and then switch over to humbuckers. You guys are amazing. Girls and boys, thank you for joining in. And in probably 2 weeks' time, we are gonna be back, the two of us. It's gonna be a K and G kind of situation again, which is gonna be way more entertaining for you and for me. Okay, cool.
Okay, he was looking forward for the Vicious Vibe, but he's also looking forward to the LP. So.
Yeah, well, you see, you get both. That's what you got here. That's what you got here. All right. Thank you so much for joining in. Love you, everyone. Mwah. Let's see what the Vicious Vibe does. Which cable is not plugged in? Everything is plugged in, and it should work, should work, should work. Interesting. You see, this rig doesn't want me to say goodbye to you, which is, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Let's try to go straight into this. Mono in, mono out. I don't see the reason why we would not have signal.